This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
What's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I'm driving a 2020 Toyota Supra. Up front is a 3.0-liter turbocharged inline 6. Down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. And I'm so happy that Toyota of Naperville was able to get me into the seat of one of these. This is going to be an absolute hoot. All right, I'm going to put it into sport mode. You guys have to just hear this thing. Oh, God. Oh, goodness me. Oh, and those downshifts. Oh my goodness. This car is an absolute treat. So let's get back to that 3-liter inline 6. Well, it's actually a BMW engine, and as we'll talk about later on, this is a BMW. For all intended purposes, this really is a BMW. It has mostly BMW parts, but I don't care because the B58, I believe, I'll put the exact engine code up on the screen, for all you fans out there. It's a remarkable engine. 335 horsepower, 365 foot-pounds of torque, which is definitely enough to get this little car moving and a-groovin'. That being said, what most people don't touch on with the Supra is the fact that it gets 24 miles to the gallon in the city, 31 on the highway, which isn't anything crazy, but it's a sports car. And believe me, you are not going to be getting those numbers because every time you see a straightaway, you're just gonna punch it. Oh, God. You're never going to see 24 miles a gallon in the city. Like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is a ZF transmission. They are a manufacturer of transmissions. Apart from BMW, apart from Toyota, apart from everyone, they actually make the Hellcat and Demon transmissions for Chrysler. They've been making BMW transmissions forever, and they put the ZF in the Supra, and I absolutely love it. The ZF, in my opinion, is one of the best transmissions you can put in a car. I've driven the Hellcat. Loved it. I've driven tons of BMWs with it. Love it. And now in this car, I absolutely love it as well. Lightning fast shifts. It doesn't get much better than that, folks. Last but not least, of course, the Supra is rear-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a center-mounted tachometer. This is very, very important because I think every sports car should have this. To the left of me, I have a little screen just giving me my miles per hour and digits, and my fuel on the far left, which is in bars, which is really, really nice. Sort of reminds me of like a video game. All of this reminds me of like a Gran Turismo heads-up display that you can select. Speaking of heads-up display, I do have one up above the gauge cluster. But getting back to the gauges, I have my coolant on the far right, health bars like the fuel, and then I have some information on the center right-ish, time of day, outside temperature, miles till empty, things of that sort. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my cruise control options, lane keep assist, radar cruise, things like that. And then on the right, I have my volume and phone options. Nothing really too crazy there, pretty basic. I do have paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, and I love they have these sort of fins on them. They feel really nice in my hands, and I absolutely love using them. To the left of me, I have my headlight switches, which has this nice silver auto button. I really, really like that. It really stands out, and if you're looking for the auto headlights, boom, right there. On the door, I do have my power windows and power mirrors, as well as lock and unlock on the door as well. Last thing about the doors, I do have JBL speakers, which is a very nice upgrade. The sound system sounds great. It's toned. It's not super loud. It's not full of bass, but it's definitely super toned, and I like that a lot. Coming into the center, I do have a infotainment screen. Now, this is the BMW's infotainment system. You'll find this in the 1 Series, 2 Series, 3 Series, X5, X4. All of BMW's products have this sort of center display, and it's run off the same software. I like it a lot. I really, really do. I think it's a good functioning software. It's easy to use. I can hop in. It's very simple. I don't really have to mess around too much. That being said, I don't have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is surprising. And I wish that it did, because this is a modern car. This is a 2020. All of the BMWs have it, and Toyota's starting to have it now, but it's really a BMW system, so I'm not sure why they left it out. So, after doing some further research, I learned something interesting about Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Toyota Supra. So, it actually is available with the Toyota Supra. You can get Apple CarPlay from Toyota. However, because it uses the BMW system, BMW's iDrive system is switching over to a paid subscription service. So, Toyota will give you Apple CarPlay for a little bit for free, but after that, you actually have to pay to keep Apple CarPlay in your car. There is a yearly fee, and that'll vary between countries and things like that. I believe it's $80 a year to keep Apple CarPlay in the States. I think this is absolutely ridiculous. It's stupid. And so just learn to live with the Bluetooth. Why would you pay $80 a year to keep something like that when it's already in your car? It's so dumb that they'll actually remove it from you if you don't pay the fee. That's just my 2 cents, though. Down below that, I have my hazard lights. Very nice button. It just looks nice. 2 air conditioning vents. Then I have my favorites and volume knob for the center screen. I like this a lot. BMW is really good about making their favorites very, very helpful. You can set destinations to these favorite buttons. So in the navigation, say you go somewhere a lot, but it's very far, got grandparents out of state or whatever, hit that button, it'll take you right to their address, which is super, super nice. I love that feature in BMWs. Then we have the climate controls. Very standard here, nothing really too crazy besides the fact that I do have heated seats, which is very, very nice. I do have dual zone, which is awesome as well. And of course, auto, all that stuff. I like that it actually gives me the digits. I like the readout. It's very clean, very simple. I like that a lot. Something I forgot to mention at the initial filming of this video is that there is a wireless charger up above the shifter, which is very, very nice. You just set your phone in that little sort of holder and it will wirelessly charge your phone. The shifter is tiny. It's a little odd to get used to. However, I don't really mind it. Again, this is a BMW shifter. What can you do? To the right of the shifter, I do have the center selector pad sort of scroll wheel. BMW's been using this system for quite some time, this specific wheel, and I absolutely love it. It has great tactile feedback. I can twist it and turn it without looking at it, and I know exactly what I'm doing. And above that, I have simple buttons for like media and menu and my navigation, things like that. It's all very, very simple. But down below the shifter, we have a couple interesting buttons. At the very top, we have our automatic start-stop off button. When you come to a stop at a stoplight or something, the vehicle will actually turn off, and this is to cut down on emissions. The theory is that if every car in a traffic jam shut off while it was stopped, we would save X amount of greenhouse gases, blah, 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 whatever. It's really super annoying, especially in a sports car. You can turn it off, which I love the fact that they give you the ability. However, it resets itself every time you turn the vehicle off. So every time you start it, the first thing you're gonna do is hit that auto start stop off button. It's not that big of a deal. It just is a little bit annoying that it doesn't save your last setting from when you park the vehicle. Down below that, we have the sport button. Now the sport button is awesome. It does open up the exhaust a little bit. You get a little bit richer of a sound, and definitely when you downshift, it makes all of the right crackles and pops. But sport mode deals with the dampening, so you can have sport dampening, sport steering, engine power, and transmission. It's gonna shift a lot more aggressive, hold on to gears a little bit longer to get all of that power out, which is super, super nice. Down below the sport button, we do have my parking sensors on and off, traction control on and off, and the safety system on and off. This is a new button that I haven't really seen before. I can turn the safety system on and off. So what the safety system is front collision warning, lane departure warning, and blind spot monitoring. As well as with the lane departure, you also get steering intervention, which means that if you go over the line, it will actually nudge the steering wheel back into the center of the lane. Some people love it, some people hate it, but you can configure that in the center screen, which is super, super nice. Then I have my power parking brake. It's an automatic, you'll never touch that here in America. Then I have 2 cup holders, which are back by my elbow. They're not in a super desirable location, but I guess if it was have them here or not have them at all, I guess I'd rather have cup holders. Now the seats are great. They have very high bolsters, very sporty seats. Definitely keep you in your seat when you get into a little bit more spirited driving. They're not full race buckets, but they'll do the job. And as a big guy, I fit in them. That's huge. I fit in the sports seats. However, what I don't fit in is getting into the car. It's a very odd shaped door, and so if you're taller or larger or have long legs, it might be a little tricky getting into the new Supra. The roof has this sort of double bubble look. I like that a lot. So interior headroom, as I'm showing now, headroom is great. I can fit my fist above my head, but actually the door shape and the car's so low, it's very odd. Very, very odd to get into. And so definitely if you struggle getting into low cars, this will not be good for you. But also if you're very tall, I'm 5'11" and struggled with it. If you're much taller than that, you might have a lot harder of a time than I did. But we don't have back seats. We do have the trunk, however. I'll talk about that now. All right, it might be incredibly too windy for this. We'll see if I have to do a voiceover, but a little button on the key fob pops the trunk. Then we come in here. Honestly, here's my filming equipment. It does pass through to the actual cabin. Technically a hatchback. Oh, wait. I do have a nice cargo cover. Very, very nice here. Overall, it's a decent size back. However, you do have these giant plastic sides here that don't really open up all that well. But it's still, you know, you're not going to buy this as a grocery getter. But you can fit a decent amount in here. Now we got to talk about the looks. I absolutely love the look of the new Supra. I think it's sort of controversial. People are like, oh, this, whatever. I love the look of it. I think it looks sleek. I think it looks good. I love the silver color. You know, I don't know how I feel about it in black, but I love this silver color. I've got the big brakes, the nice wheels. Overall, I really do think this is a good looking car, and I do still feel something when I see them. This might get to the point where it's like a Nissan GTR and you see them all over the place and it's not that exciting. However, for right now, this is still a very exciting car. And it still looks exciting. And I love that. I absolutely love that. But let's get back to the point that everyone makes. Oh, this is a BMW. It's not a true Supra. Blah, 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 blah. First of all, I love BMW. There's only 2 BMWs that I've ever driven that I actually truly hated, and it was the i3 and the X4. Those are pretty useless vehicles. Other than that, I've driven upwards of 26 BMWs besides those 2, and I've loved every single one of them. I think BMW makes very quality, great, fun, enthusiast cars. You feel great when you drive them. You feel great when you park them and look at them. I think really, truly, if Toyota was to pair with anyone in the world to make a car, BMW had to have been one of the top. And so at the end of the day, I don't care that this is a BMW underneath. I like BMWs. It's like if your friend told you, hey, we're going out for pizza. Psych, we're going out for sushi. It's like, I like sushi better, actually. That's not a downgrade. That's an upgrade. Why not? Why not? I really, truly love the Supra, and honestly, this car lives up to the hype. Is it the fastest thing I've ever driven? No. Does it knock my socks off when I floor it? Not quite. However, it's so fun to drive. It really, besides the lack of manual transmission, this is a true enthusiast car. It makes enthusiast car noises. It feels like an enthusiast car. It drives like one. I put it into a corner, and honestly, this thing just makes me feel so many emotions, which is so hard to find on a modern car. I get into most modern cars, I just put them in drive, and I don't really think about much else. But this is different. This makes me feel alive. This makes me feel like I'm part of the world. And I mean, you just can't deny that acceleration, that sound. It feels like this car has a heartbeat. And that's what I've always loved about the BMW M cars, is that they still feel alive to me. It feels like they breathe. It feels like there's something boiling under their skin. You're not sure what. When I drive cars like this, I feel like the car is just thinking like, oh, I have to put up with him. Not I have to put up with the car. When I owned my Miata, I had to put up with that thing. The Supra has to put up with me. That's how I feel about this car. I really, truly love this car, and it really lived up to my expectations. Besides the fact that it's hard to get into. But I'm not going to let that be a deal breaker. Not today. Not today. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville. I mean, what rock stars they are. They got me into the 2020 Supra. This thing is awesome. I love it. I'm fangirling. I'm happy. This is just amazing. Toyota of Naperville is equally amazing. Absolutely awesome staff. Everyone there is so cool, kind, collected. You know, I come in to them with these ideas, and they either say yes or they say, well, they never tell me no. They always say, let's figure out a way to do that, which is huge for a dealership. I love it so much. Thank you so much, Toyota of Naperville. Their information is up on the screen as well as linked in the description below. But I'm going to send out this video the only way I truly know how to do so in a GR Supra. And that's just putting my foot down and smiling. So here we go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.